Yeah, like Atus Kol Nashum Bekirbi, right? Okay, and then Natus Usadit Lamemani. So I don't like.
Yeah, fine. So
who takes away from whom?
He takes it away from me.
What, the Neshama?
Yeah, there's many.
Neshama is not me?
There's many types. Is the Neshama? No, the Neshama is you, but the one that's talking right now is not the Neshama.
What is it?
That's your das. That's your ego.
And when I daven, is it my ego?
Ultimately, we want to get into the ego. We want the ego to be mindful, to be present. That he's not a boss of his own. There's just, we need to connect closing the gap. In other words, we used to live in the hoida, in the year, in the future. So in the future, I was always 20 years, 10 years ahead. How many years ahead did we plan already? How many years ahead were we planning already? For my retirement, for my college, for my retirement, for my grandkids, it goes on and on. So we're like 30, 40 years that the horse is there and I'm over here. Like the horse is there and I'm running. Like I'm totally not connected with my behemoth. I'm totally not connected with my so'irim.
So this
right into the topic. Yeah.
So this form called the I, the ego?
The school called the I?
No.
Yeah, the I.
So
hold on. Depends where the Chamish died down. Where is it coming from?
So I know that I don't die, right? It's just my body is gonna die, right? So when he says many, that means that what? I'm gonna be like the I gonna be like when after I'm not gonna be I after when I come up there.
Okay, so we're gonna go into it in the shir.
Got it.
I'm gonna start off right now with that. So let me just do it because I'm more familiar with these letters.
It's okay.
Can I ask one question about the song? The reason why you left out the words Tohorui?
I didn't.
Yeah.
I said Tohorui. I didn't just do a whole spiel about it because I couldn't find anything to do with it. So I tried the A and it didn't work.
I was waiting to hear the words.
I said Tohorui.
I didn't hear.
I for sure said Tohorui.
I didn't pick
it up.
I just didn't. It's in the beginning. Right. The problem with Tohorui is that Tohorui should be a whole song in itself, but there was no room for it, so I have to go what was available.
Okay.
So then the Modani became the focus on it. So that's what the higher consciousness wanted to communicate today. He's like, forget about Tohorui. He's like, don't dwell on me. Woייס ich bin heilig. Tachlis, what are you going to do for me? So that's where the energy was pushing, right? So Modani became the message. Right? We should be present and grateful. That's how we need to use our consciousness. That's how we turn my das into starting to pump oil rather than choshech. Right? So I'm starting to fuel myself from positive. I'm grateful, I'm conscious, I'm grateful that I'm here, I'm grateful that you gave me back my neshama. So all of a sudden what happens is that I'm becoming occupied with that rather than how do I get out of this? How do I get out of that? How do I overcome this? Because somebody's pumping the energy. You have to be plugged into something. You can pull it from the right, you can pull it from the left. So get mindful from the minute you start. This is what we're doing here. That's what Chassidus is teaching us how to do. It's not just teaching us how to do it. It's waking us up that there's such a concept. Because we were sleeping, we were in gullus, we have no clue, we're fast asleep. Like we think that we need to pull energy from running around, making more, doing more, but that's not where it's at. Now we're waking up. Chassidus is waking us up to closing the gap. All right. So we're up to Kovav. Page Vehina Kopan.
Safe is fun.
Tzemach Tzedek did that.
Oh.
Okay, so I want to start off with, I want to go over again with the Chachma. Two things with the Chachma. So there's, as we spoke about, what differentiates, what splits up my taste buds, what splits up my that I'm able to speak and measure my words. Why isn't there a cloud of all energies? It happens all the time. You know what that looks like? I'm coming home and I'm miserable. I'm pissed. Somebody says something, I blow up. That's a cloud of energy. That's an overload of energy. Two chesed galur, boom, explosion. They both, nobody wants to go down. There's no chachma there, because I'm in das moichem de katnes. So the same goes with my speech. So if we wouldn't have something called chachma, then the same would look with my speech. I wouldn't, right? I wouldn't know how to speak. So all these are just mishalim. We're starting off from, the Rebbe is starting off from taste, where he's saying like the way I'm measuring, I have too much sugar, it's too sweet, I'm having too much salt. What is that? That is also, there's something called chachma in my taste. It's all godly things, it's not mechanical. Everything is oil, everything is called chachma. It's something that's a program that's so delicate, that's so soft, that it's the air suspension, the highest caliber air suspension, picks up the slightest thing and sends out a message on the spot, instantly. But that's not the point. So the point is that we're having that chachma now. Also, the same thing that I was giving a marshal before, he builds it from the Malach Michal and the Malach Gavriel, where one side is Gevura, and one side is Gevura, and one side is Chesed. One side is Chesed, and one side is Gevura. The right is Chesed, and the left is Gevura. Why don't they collide? Why isn't Malach Michal Gavriel just going like, not, one is fire, and one is water, right? Chesed, Gevura. Because what happens is that they know that there's somebody else there. There's a higher presence over there. There's somebody that's bigger than them. Right? We all heard that before. Like if I have an argument with my boss, I'm not my boss. I'm whatever. It's not important right now. We'll deal now with more important things. Right? Everything straightens out. Depends on the level of respect or whatever. But that's the mashal. But why is it that way? Why, when there's somebody bigger than me, does it affect my opinion? Does it make me, go into gevura, tzimtzum, restriction, restraint? Why do I make myself smaller when I have somebody bigger than me? What's happening? So all this is just so fine. We wake up, but let's just go to the other side for a second. What happens is that when Malach Michal and Malach Gavriel, when they are both, they are Chesed and Gevura. The one is complete Chesed, complete Gevura. What happens is that he knows, all of a sudden he sees where he's coming from. There's something bigger for him. Once he sees where he's coming from, he's able to start measuring. He's able to start measuring what amount I need to give. All of a sudden he understands how far distance is. Before that, it's just like, I'm gonna burn up the world. And it's like, I'll love everybody, right? This is who they are. This is the purest of the purest, right? Not whatever. It's dvaravai. I don't know purest of the purest. Fine, okay. I don't want to start giving titles because I don't know. I don't know what I'm saying. It could be higher. This, that, because the neshamas are purest of the purest. Everybody's the purest of the purest. But how can you say not? It's still a creation of the Eibishter. It's also purest of the purest, right? So we'll stay away from the titles. We'll let the Rebbe use all the titles. So what happens is that once he sees, in other words, like this. I know how to measure the space from the walls. Right, the walls are here, we're sitting here, we know this is how, but if I don't have this distance, how do I measure where I am? Where am I? What's going on over here? Forget about the stars and all that. So the same is with Michal and Gavriel. All they see, it's just complete toyu. They're gone. But they're in tikkun already. So what happens is that they see something higher than them. They see a higher authority, so they're able to measure, if I go this far, I'm gonna, now I know where it's at. And also, the minute he picks up his egos, that he becomes aware, he notices something higher and something bigger than him, which makes him put his head down again, so to speak. 1 second, let me just... I want you to understand what the word bittul means. Surrender. Bittul. In Chassidus, it's all about bittul. Get used to that word. Bittul it's everything about bittul. They've been saying bittul to me for 20 years. I have no clue what they're talking about. What's bittul? What does it mean bittul? If I'm nothing, then I should just wait for everything. No, you have to. So if I do, then I'm doing. So where is the bittul? Right? For years, and so we're gonna start going at bittul. We did over Pesach with us, with Malchus. That's all levels of bitlish, tachva, kiddush, all these levels of bitl. Don't worry if you understand. It goes in, it becomes part of the makeup. It becomes part of the fiber. Because this is divrei Elokim Chaim. This Torah, all Torah. But befrat, this content of this consciousness is direct for this type of consciousness. Right? So this thing goes into your head. It's a different way. It's not like a Gemara, which is boom, boom, beating you up. It's a higher consciousness. It's installed in the brain in a different way. It's benachas, it's with, because this is how it needs to seep through. It's not how much we know. 1,000 mamorim, 4,000. You get it, and then the Rebbe wants you to get it. Doesn't want you to sit and flex how many mamorim. It's not about that. It's not how many blot gemara. It's about understanding it. And every mimer is from a different, to help you, and it's all aligned with the time. You will learn the mimer, the Rebbe said it, then everything flows, because this is it. This is the truth. Everything flows with everything. Fine. So what's happening is that once Malach Machal, let's just say, has a steady flow, and this is who he is. He's all about Chesed. Okay, and the minute there is any time, there can't be any yeshes. There can't be any yeshes over there, because the minute there is any yeshes, it's over. It's real shibaril. It's 100% balanced. It's all aligned. It's perfect. There's no room for error, because they are aware constantly that there is something bigger than him. Not just bigger than him. First of all, he is pure. This is it. There's a level of just being centered. I want to make sure, because it's a lot of, it's what do you say first, right? So it gets to the point, but it's irrelevant, because regardless, this is what it is. So now that first of all, that there's two things that we're saying here. One, that I can measure. Once I have something higher than me, I'm able to see distance, so to speak. If I'm able to see distance. We're going to bring it down here, so it's going to make more sense. I'm able to see distance. And also I see that there's something bigger than me, so I humble myself. Either if Yiddah Tatah, he's bigger than me, Yiddah Allah, it's like this is way more kaddish than I am. Way more delicate than I am, and it's going to burn, because I can't take it. It's too much, it's too intense. So the same thing happens down here with us. It depends how do we measure distance down here? How far can I see? How do I measure distance? Now, I'm going into spiritual, to the Ruchnis. If my reality is this, if I have walls up here, I'm going to explain what they mean. If my reality is right up in my face, if my reality is my physical, my how much money, my future, my worries and all that, that means that my distance is right here. Okay? Why is that happening? Because I had no clue. I didn't know how to measure distance. I didn't know that anything but this exists. All I know exists is my stress and my worries. I was never aware of anything, and I knew that if I'm not going to chap and then I'm not going to get anywhere. And if I'm not all that, then I'm a loser. Right? Because this is how close. I did not know how to measure my distance, my strength, my vision. But now that I'm able to see and I'm able to measure distance, now that it's open and I'm like, wait a second, I can see much further than this, because what they made me believe I need to see has to be this close up to me. Has to be right up in my face. But no, I see a bigger picture, and I see all that is just in my face to distract me from being present in the moment. And this is what's happening. This is the opportunity that we're having now in Sphere by the Omer. This is what's happening in the Omer. What happens is as follows. The whole year we're negotiating. A little this, that, maybe I can make a change. Yes, no, I'm working on it. Comes Pesach, which is the revelation of this consciousness called Melech Malcham Malachim, this super consciousness, very, very pure. And it comes into Vel, boom. It lands and explodes in Vel. Doesn't ask any questions, anybody. Nobody's not negotiating with anybody. Nothing. Because he's a super, doesn't need what, when, this is not, can't do this. What are you talking about? The guy, he sees the higher power coming, boom. He's humbling himself. And this means Memta Shara Tumah. It's such a high level of Tumah that we're living in that we need that type of awakening of a second. So I'm like, wow, what was that? Okay, 1 second. What was that is, it's a flash and then the second day it goes away. So what happens was, what happens in this vacuum? Right now that I just landed a missile right into the sand on the beach. What happens to that vacuum? What happens to that place over there? Now and then I suck it out. I land and what is in there? That's a huge crater, right? A huge blowout. A crater, right? A crater, like an empty space, like you would see in the desert.
Meteorite hits the earth and makes it.
Yeah, let me stay on this. Right, so you see there's a huge void, right? What is that void? What's that void?
It's from
Pesach comes, Oyer comes in, I'm having an amazing Pesach revelation, and then it comes out. Now these are my Gevuras. These are the high Gevuras. These things look like they have different shapes. Ice picks, they look my stress, my worries, boom, boom, they come in and they're all in my face. Everything, my business, all my decisions, this is what they look like. But this is here to give us a path. It's Bamsila. It's Bamsila actually attached to the wrong. It's not a light. Bamsila is Ausgetreten, a path that was carved out. But it's also a light. Right? It's just a trick in Choshech. Pesach comes, Oyer comes in, it sucks out, it turns into 49 pieces of Gevura. 49 icicles of Gevura, 49 layers of Gevura, of pieces of logs of Gevura. So now I'm able to focus, I'm able to measure mitamal. The Omer, I'm able to measure. Omer is measuring. I'm able to measure, I'm able to see. Okay, Chesed Shebe Gevura, yeah, good, got this. Now again, it's not about going crazy now, figuring out what is Chesed. That's already a Sur Merah. We're never going to finish with that. I did it for years. I'm never going to finish with it. I say it. I'm aware that today is Sphira, and I love you. I'm aware that today is Sphira, and I'm having a hard day. I love you too. Next, knock out 49 days, and then you keep taking these logs, you keep moving these pieces away of Gevura, because now we have measuring, I'm having direction. I know where I'm going. And then what you meet is yourself in Keser Shuas. Matan Torah. What does that look like? If I still think that I'm expecting lightning coming from up there, then I'm missing the point. Because it's in us. It's noch alav ruach, noch alav ruach, whatever the lashon is. Every one of us have within us a consciousness, a higher consciousness, and it's opening up, and it's much bigger than seeing something, because we did that already. Mitzrayim, it happened. And if you're not noticing, it's happening every single day that you've been in Galus, moving bricks, blocks, and somehow you're surviving. It's doing it. Right? So we see the lightning and the thunder in the physical. Now it's about the heart and the mind. It's very delicate, but it's powerful, because it's the Nesher. Very delicate, but he owns the sky. Kenesha Yor Kina Gezolov, this is Rachamim, and from there you glide, which means a peaceful day. A day with nobody's running after me, because I can see now. I see the Gevura, and I see that it's just something that I need to, easy. I don't have to get it all worked up. I don't need to react to it the way it's reacting to me. If it's tapping me, I'm looking at it, it's a bamsila, it's a piece of log that's showing me where I need to go to get to my next destination. I'm feeling stressed, I'm feeling worried, I'm angry, I'm very worried, something, I don't know what the worries are, right? But okay, I'm aware of it, and I'm aware that it's not physical, it's not, but it is personal. It is personal, it's a personal message to me. and easy will be the response. Right? Nothing is because it's not a physical wall. So this is the part with understanding how Chachma works. The same thing that measures my taste, the same thing that measures the words that I speak, the same thing that measures my mind, what my creativity, the same thing that is having a hashpah, and all that is also from the Chachma, because I'm aware that there's it can start building a higher consciousness. Like, until I feel that I'm not physically here the way I am, just becoming more refined, more edel, more delicate. More delicate means that I'm less chomer, I'm less breakable, I'm more flexible now. Yeah, I see it. I have to apply it. This is how it is. Any questions for everyone? Good. Okay. So you just finished off with basically what we were just saying. That.
Question.
Yeah.
In order to relax, something is always going on. See, let's say you're relaxed, you're manich, like nothing. The teva, or there's always something. Your mind starts going somewhere, and like, how long could you relax and do nothing? Or is it doing nothing, or b'shas you're doing to be calm?
Exactly.
It's not like doing just to sit and like chill.
What type of Meshuggah can sit in jail?
Oh, so you could be doing stuff, but
who has time to sit? No, but when I'm doing it, I'm present, I'm mindful, I'm not a slave. I'm connected in whatever I need to connect to with at that moment. I'm present with myself, I'm present with my wife, my kids, I'm present with and once I become present, also I'm present with what I dislike. And I'm like, okay, I'm not perfect. Right? It's stop judging myself because I'm present. I start seeing rather than just like one big confusion. There's no measurements, no medida. It's endless, it's mindless. Where am I going? My head, it's so big. But all of a sudden, there's okay, I have perspective. It's perfect. Here I am 80%, and here I don't care anymore. Right? But I want to be a mensch. That's it, always a mensch. The rest falls into place.
You have like any exercise or pattern to get present when it's difficult to become present? Let's say, think about where am I, what time is it, or something like that.
I don't
When you're
really,
trying to get pulled away.
I don't really do it like that. That could be a way. Maybe I don't know. To me, it's like when I get a real, like somebody turns the back of my neck like that, like really hard. I'm like, okay, fine, okay, it's just gevur. It's not personal. Okay, good. So then I come home and I'm exhausted for an hour and that's it. And I know it's over. Or sometimes long. Who knows? I mean, listen, I'm not. Everybody has their thing that triggers them. You'd be surprised. Somebody's not worried about this, but Mitamol is worried about his food for Yom Tov. Like, it's a huge stress. It's a huge stress. The meat and the whole thing, it's big stress. I mean, I used to be on top of that stuff, to make sure that it's, I mean, you never touch it, just to be sure that it's safe, it's secure. Alright. Vene. Al kapanem knafem shem prudes bis kalkes oefen auf FIFA Weisz kalkes klappen mal. Sibbe ze mees kalkes da ga je met alle personaal kikken. Fi oefen da ga je in zich loy. So you have to understand again what are the Rebbe's doing. What they're doing is they're taking a vision. They're repeating a vision that from Navi. Right, that's their excuse that they know about it, right? That they learned, they saw it in Navi. Talking about the Rebbe, pinching a little joke at them. They used to bring down the Navi says like this, like he was. That was his excuse that he was actually he was there visiting every night. So what they're doing is they see an image. But since they're able to see everything from not like us, because we are still limited as to how far we see. Why? You know why you're limited? Because you think that this is how you measure vision. You don't know how to measure yet. We don't have the chachma yet to see how to measure vision for real. I still think that I need to, this is my vision, how much, when, where, who else, what, when, where. Not that anybody here is from that type at all. I'm just saying that's the mashalom. I use the most extreme mashalom. Right? Because I'm confused. I don't know where to measure from. Okay? But once we're going to get rid of that, we're also going to be able to see everything. We're going to be able to see it, because this is Ekal Mavei. It's going to be just a replay, and even more intense, because we're going to be in it. But we have to first clear our vision to learn how to measure. Now I'm learning with Chassidus, be able to start measuring deeper. You have a whole different measurement, right? I think the whole thing with glasses is a hoax, that people should wear glasses.
Yeah.
Because if God created me to see this way, then my machine only needs to see this. And when I see only that, that's when I'm in my perfect alignment. Because I need to see that. So what if I only see this, I know how to measure my distance and I know how to work with that. But mitmo, if I'm forced to be able to see like that, because this guy says so, and I need to, so mitmo, why? Because, what do you mean? I need to learn. I need to be able to read, but this machine does not read, because his eyes does not tell him, no, you go in the field. And this machine needs to sit and figure out how to make houses. There's different machines. But since we're all forced, because this is how the masters stay in power. When they enforce you, they give you their ideology. We look at China, we also have ideology. We're also brainwashed. All of us are brainwashed. When we look at our value system, because this is how they're robbing us. This means, you guys understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
This is moichem de katnas.
It's symptom.
No.
Putting everybody in a box.
No, symptom is by it's moichem de katnas. You can come in. I can pass it. All right. So this is the moichem de katnas that we're talking about. This is what it looks like. Now, okay, the point. We said that. So when the Rabbein was seeing, they were looking at. They saw the malachim. I mean, that's what the Cheskel Novi is saying, but Knafayim. So they saw, why is there separation in the wings? They didn't see wings. Wings are just a mashal. Wings, really what they saw is Ava and Yireh. They saw Ava and Yireh. Ava, and then Yireh. It's too intense. Ava, back and forth. Ratzav v'shuv. Okay? We also operate. They're bringing a message down. So he's like, guys, wake up. This is, when you're looking right, left, it's Ava, Yireh. And everything that I see, I'm able to see it and measure it from that way. So now when something comes at me fast, Gevura, I know that's Gevura. It's not that my boss and my life and my mother and my father and my sister. No. That's what this wants me to see. I'm opening my vision. And I'm saying, Ava Yireh, this is too much Gevura. I need to do something about this. Say a good word. I'm talking a small thing. Hey, put a smile on your face. Yeah? This is how you start facing this. And a little bit of oil pushes away the choshech. It has no place. Whenever you're in, you try to smile. It's the hardest thing to do. But once you do it, you're out of it. Right? So they saw the separation. They're like, why are the wings separate? Like, what's making the Av and Yireh separate? Why aren't they colliding and just becoming one and Nichel? Right? This is what the Rebbe is asking here. They're like, what's going on over there? Why aren't they like just one? What's separating it? Again, they're trying to build a case for us, because when you talk about me, like, what do you mean separate? I am. He's like, just look up there. Everybody wants to see the angels. He's giving you a picture. And while you're looking up there, you find yourself in, like, yeah, I'm also Av and Yireh. And when I'm upset, I'm going behind. And now in the sphere, in the Omer, this is what we're doing. We're going behind the problem. Because we're taking everything that comes, I'm mindful. Because there's Gevura, I see it clearly. Because there was so much oil on the first day Pesach. And now when it pulls out, now remember, to everybody it looks different. Everybody has 49 different Gevuras to deal with. Because we're shaped differently, so it shows up differently. Imagine I imprint and pull it out. Yeah, one guy has 100, 2, 20, 30, 40, whatever. Right? This is how everybody's shaped differently. So start looking at it that way. Okay. The sibba that they are meschalik is from the daled mitzvahs, where it comes out from the mouth. In other words, the malachim zijn nog dvar avaya. He's going to explain it soon. It's the hay. You will go into page 52. The malachim are the dvar avaya. So what is splitting them up? The hay mitzvahs. The same way, the same thing that when we talk, words come out. The same thing created. Eibishter spoke, and malachim are created. Right. So what was splitting them up was the hay mitzvahs. The Eibishter said, the chayes from them is in the beginning from Gilu, from revealed. Shehu nimshach in the beginning is dibur v'alma desgali. It comes from dibur and alma desgali, from dibur, which is words, talking, and the alma desgali, the revealed world, hanal. Therefore, the malach is an avachuk and niglas. In other words, there are places conscious of that it isn't this galas. Right? It's all right. Here it says galas because it comes from dibur. The oxen that used to carry the urn, they used to go scream, whatever. Amram Shira, they used to sing. Because they were carrying the urn. Shu Alma Disgalia, Nishbaleim, Shu Alma Disgal Nishbaleim, Shefaliki, Lis Mesheres Begois Kmeshkos Veshan Aparis. Because Alma Disgali is given a Nishba given of that. When they were carrying the urn, Alma Disgali was shining on them, so they were dancing, right? So what's the mashal here? So too on us. Alma Disgali, the fact that we are Bizgalos, there are worlds that are not Bizgalos. We are Bizgalos. I can see myself. So understand that there is a shefa that's coming down. It's not that I am myself. There is the huge shefa. That's why I'm able to dance. That's why I'm able to walk around. The Amshacha and the Chayas from this Nikr Sa'ira. It's called Sa'ira. Sa'ira Hashem. It's the Sa'ira from Hashem. Perish. Shir Midah. It's a shir, it's a measurement. Hanim Shukun Bechinas Ahai, Bechinas Si Misalechas Ben Achais, Lis Mischalik Adal Metzor, Velis Nushkadat, Mach Shchin Al Chalech B'Madrigase, Velis Madrigas Kal Echad Echad Muvdum Mechavere. In other words, that from the Hay Metzors, that Boyd is talking, there's creation. B'em Zeh Asher Yidu V'Kotzer Meshesh Me'Breshis. L'chen Nikra Amlochem Oimdim Ma'ez B'Yosem. The Malachim are standing. There are different types of Malachim, but these Malachim are standing, and they are standing since Shesh Me'Breshis. Blishim Geram at the surface. Nothing is missing and nothing is added. They just are. V'Gama says Sa'oire Hu B'Shin. Smoil is spelled with the sin. Sa'oire. Moed al beginnen sa gevura, because the scene is gevura. Kmo is sviva nesara moed, is sviva from nesara moed, and the sviva had persuaded him. These are all the shoyness of gevuras. V'kat moedem achzo sa. It's another kmo sa banashe. It's all the shoyness of restriction, measurement, and azaz. One of them is azaz the kedusha type of thing. I think the first one until him is azaz the kedusha. Lefi. Sham shachas b'schalkas achayas who are the beginning sa gevuras. Them shachas achayas, so all them shachas b'schalkas achayas, everything. In other words, like this: we are only here because of tzimtzum. The only way we can exist here is because there was tzimtzum, restriction. Creator was mitzamtzum himself. So that means that our whole program is in tzimtzum. If there wasn't tzimtzum, I can't exist. The only reason I'm here is because there's tzimtzum. Because there's tzimtzum, there's measurement. Because there's measurement, my fingers are not going from here to the end of the world. Because it's not toyu, otherwise I would never end. And that's what happened in the Zayim Malachim. In Parshas Noach, Bereshis. It says that Shav Malachim Malchel Lifnei Malach Melech Yisrael. There was 7 Malachim that were enveloped in consciousness before Yisrael came. It means that there were 7 Geriderayim. Right, there were 7 worlds that died, and they were born and died, born and death. Right, we're not getting all this, but it's going to bring it down on us on another page. So we are a Gevura program, so understand that. Because I'm a Gevura program, it's from my own to, if not, without Gevura, I can't exist. Now understand how Choshech is trying to use that. They're spinning us. They're using it against us. They're robbing us. That I'm thinking my Gevuras are all the bad things that are happening to me. Because he set it up this way. He's robbing my mind. Again, my day-to-day, whatever is stressing me out is robbing my mind. It's not real. It's just a Choshech. Elamai, why are there restrictions in Welt? Why do I have pain? Because we are Gevura. And it's like, thank God we are Gevura. Because if not for my problems, I wouldn't be here. But our avodah now is to turn these problems into a, to elevate us. The fish, Shamshachas, the Schalkas Achai, so the beginners of Gevuras. The Shamshachas of Schalkas, through beginners of Gevuras, Shehem Nafri the Sahavel. The is true for Ois Shonis. Right? It's Mafra the Hevel. Kumashkosa Kvoid Machos Chayimeru, Gvras Chidaberu, Vazay Michael Kisa, the Kanode, Vahem Gordon Lis, Schalkas, Mamoitza Achech, Ladal Matzos, Kenegedal Machas Shena Hanal, Begam Kalech Maschalak Ribber Rivas, Malach Mshonim, Mavdom Zomazet, Zemazet, there's thousands and endless. Ein Mispar. Sibba says, Chalkas, Kavir Tzlein, Mamaka, Macha, Api, Ayash Mispar, Legdudav, Legdudav, and Mispar. Sibba says, Chalkas, Lafisha, Gamma Chesed, Shumakir, Machne, Mechal, Kola Gamma Gvura. Mechal also has Gevuras in him. V'chein Gevura that Gabriel Klula Gam Kem Chesed. Gabriel also has Chesed. What's the difference? What is Nizgal and what is Helam? In other words, we both have Chesed and Gevura. I have Chesed and Gevura, but by who is one more evident? Who operates on that? Who operates on that? And to that, when it comes to Gabriel Mechal, there is a billion combinations. It's endless because we're dealing with Ein Sof. He wants to wake us up to start understanding there is something that's Ein Sof, and how do I measure that? Because when I expire my brain of starting to think of measurement, I'm like, okay, now my brain, I just broke my machine, I can't measure anymore, and I just am, and that's when we can open up our minds to a higher consciousness of thinking and measurement. I'm not restricted anymore. I'm not restricted anymore that to what's in my front of my face. I'm looking at it, I'm able to, because once I'm still restricted, I'm still measuring how much, how fast, when I measure still in time that they want me to think, the way they want me, they're selling me time, I'm going crazy. And I can't think of something higher because I'm measuring time. But he's explaining to them, there is Malachim and there is Malach Mechal Gavriel, and they have a billion combinations, and it's a mispar, and it just keeps going, and you're like, what? How does this, when does it end? But how is it possible? Well, it's not possible. Then how is it? Okay. There's just another way of just accepting and being there. Being present in the moment, and then my problems fall away when I'm present in the moment, when I know that there is a different way of measuring. There's not, I need to make this at 1, 2, 3, 4, if not I'm going to expire. No, there is numbers Ein Mispar. I'm doing what I'm doing. And the rest, it's above me, because it's Ein Mispar. I'm not limited to time and space. Thank you. Vayirhi behelm, v'gavir lahapach, v'yesh b'machtem b'chol ribus b'chin hashonis b'eiches ha'ahava v'skaladus b'chol amidus. V'chem v'gavir l'schalka zu, v'odei shinui hatzirufim v'mshachom midus malchus dvar Hashem, because malchus is dvar Hashem, malchus peh. That's why we got to be careful what comes out of our mouth. Because this is the malchus peh, this is the peh of Creator. The same thing that works about the malachim. Now I'm not talking about childish stuff, about not, whatever, cursing, whatever. Everybody has their thing. I'm talking about your word is a word. If I told you something, I gave you my word. What else is there? It's dvar avaya, where that's a shvuah shav. I'm not trying to be cute, because these things come back to hunt us. These are little things that restrict me. And then before I know it, I have an anxiety and I don't know why. What's my block here? Why can't I flow? Come in. Why can't I flow? What's my block? This is the block, because it's real time. It's no longer do I think I need to go to my therapist to see why I'm having anxieties. I'm having an anxiety. Where am I tied on? Where am I not in flow? Where am I not in flow? Why should there be an anxiety? I have one more over there. Derech Mitzvah Sefer right there. Actually, right there. No. All the way to the end. Pick your hands up. Yeah. You thought you're going to come to the show. Yeah, you're going to have to look into it. Here, have some more. I'm happy to have you. It's good to have you. So, okay. So again, so where was I? Fine. Okay, I think I was done. I think I said it. I said it many times. Okay. Let me go back a line of this. Right? Because of the gevuras, that's why there is sheniyat tzerufim. Shehanam mishochem b'malchus b'rishona. Ikamasha ba'adam shemamida echad shebalev keshevarshenem b'dover b'diver t'schalak l'chalak harabim kemispar ha'tevis b'chol tevi yashchelik ze'ei sham minik klolos v'ahava. In other words, from one thought in my heart, I can talk 1,000 words. 1,000. I can have words. I can keep expressing like one feeling. Okay. Let me just connect. I don't know why I said it. Okay. Right. Because my expression is in Gevura. My expression is in Tzimtzum. So I can't, it's not like in the heart where it's a feeling. Now I need to express that feeling. I'm dealing already with the Gevura program. Why is it important? Because I need the Malchus Peh. This is what Eibishter wanted. He wanted to be expressed. It's Machshava Dibur Maisa. Dibur Maisa. Then the hands are the final job. Mahanu. Al derek verse mit samts mit samid mit machakamasha. The gevuris is mit samts in the middle and it splits it. Kem ver it senen barigo. Beni paraduma. Ansham. Was er sagt soira Hashem hasioirim. I think it's hasioirim or hasioirim. Okay, I'm shochem hey Allah. It comes from the hey Allah. Hanal the biya shezeh al derek gevuris. We gaan nikes lechem aretz. We kadmal shana hamad alma kes khalas bin an alma. This gali beginnes audit, should beginnes malchus the varasham and elo de gevuras. In other words, this bread grows first because it comes from the gevuras. Okay. V'achar kak moshochen bo chasadim shesoy dachita. Ik mooi ken ba'aretz al zo agashim shemakeles malchus the malchus asir shebetoich malchus de sire shedech malchus de bri shedech malchus de sire. Hi matzius parisei gam ken kseder zeh kafi shemakabeles dahana betchila. Hasoire shashar meiguris and al shemam nikras oire kem nekrom al emes came metam shezbal vakach chita from shochem chasadim. Okay, so oire comes from gevuras, and chita Weitz comes from chesed. That's why we're bringing the Omer from the Behemoth Welt, and Shavuos we're bringing the lechem, the shtei lechem from chita. Okay, because that's the wheat. It's a different. That's more a higher quality. Now it comes from the chasadim. Okay, so the point that we were making here is, and I'm going in a little to the next one also. The point I'm making is that what is this all relevant to us? What are we dealing with over here? What's going on? The same way that he explained everything right now that happens in concept in the worlds with the high, the gevuras, the tzimtzum. The last three lines where he finished is that Malchus Datzilis is wrapped in Malchus Debriya. Malchus Debriya is wrapped in Malchus Yitzira. Malchus Yitzira is wrapped in Malchus Asiya. What does Malchus Asiya look like? In regards to what we're dealing with right now in Pesach, when we were dealing with the matzah and the wine, what's next in the line? There is a shefa that comes in. How does that shefa come in? It comes in gevuras. It comes in so'ira, in gevuras. Why? Why so'ira? Why gevuras? And why gevuras again? Why gevuras all to begin with? Because there was oil that came in Pesach, as we said many times, but again, never hurts. And then I'm pulling it out. So now I have all these gevuras. And the Sa'orim. Why Sa'orim? Because Sa'orim comes from Behemoth Rabbi. He's going to go into it. Behemoth Rabbi is high wealth, and that's where our Behemoth comes from. That's where our Nefesh Bahamas comes from. So it manifests into the Sa'orim. From Sa'orim. So now we're bringing that as a carbon. Okay? To give that, how that works is that as I put it on the Mizbeach, it evaporates, and then the Kohen Ish Elyon, which is on top of everything, he takes from the chasadim, and from there he takes it all the way back up there, because he's the shliach from the rachamim, Yidigim Midas Rachamim. He comes from all the way up there. He brings the omer up there, the so'erim, and then from there comes down a shefa. All of a sudden again Shavuos, that lights up again everything. Now, we don't have the Beis Hamikdash, we have something better ourselves. This is why we count the Omer. This is why we count. We're like our own personal Mizbech. If you think it's a joke, back in the day you would have to go and come and you were the mercy of the Kohen. We're doing the job. This is exactly what's happening when you count the Omer. So I'm no longer counting the Omer because it's a screaming match. I count the Omer because I'm aware that I am right now getting one step closer to my Kohen Israeli, to my Rachamim, to my Chesed, to my amazing year.
So it's not a Zayche.
What?
It's not a Zayche to the...
Nothing Zayche. It's Zayche that is Mitzvah. No, we're counting the Omer for real. We're counting the Omer for real. It's a real process. It's a real process. It's not. Forget about that. It's how does a behemoth count the Omer? Like a real. If you want to do the job real, how does a real behemoth count the Omer? He doesn't know what's going on. He just counts the Omer. The job is being done anyways. We don't have to get into. You could. It's fun if you like it, but don't get caught up if you don't get to the bottom of it. That I didn't hammer this one out. It's happening. I'm counting the Omer. I'm counting. I'm aware. I'm mindful, and that's it. I'm just present. And I have no expectations, only good. Alright, before we go into the next...
They were going all these combinations from Midas, there's actually different things you're supposed to be fixing up in each of those particular things, and meditating on those particular things, right?
Yeah. No, but what I'm saying is that sometimes we get caught up in that. Because we can't go through all 49. We get one day...
I'm just learning what to even work on.
Exactly.
Caught up on it. I'm saying while you're doing it, you have to realize, like you said, that above it is the higher being, so that you can measure it. But we still have to learn how to do that, right?
But to get caught, Choshech wants me to get caught up in the details. It will take me 10 years to figure out what Chesed Shebegvur is. The heck with that. Baruch Atah Hashem Elokeinu Melech Haolam Chesed Shebegvur, and then I'm doing something, a good deed. In my head, I love myself and I go to sleep, whatever. That's the point. The point is not to get caught up in the detail.
So the Simmons book.
I look at it when I have time. I love it.
What?
I look at it when I have time.
Right. So.
No, I bought my own. I didn't take from you.
I meant to bring you if anybody wanted to buy from me. I have a whole bunch of them. I just forgot to bring. So they took from me. Sorry, guys. Anyways, but no, like I actually started doing a couple of the exercises, and I was felt good that I was doing something that was at least working on that particular meter, because I probably wouldn't figure it out myself. Like he's helped me so long. But what do you mean getting hung up on it? Like I think it's.
I mean, getting hung up on it is that. Have you ever noticed that Yom Yom gives you sometimes 2 days after what you were supposed to do the 2 days before? Over Pesach, you did it twice.
Okay.
What is that? Why did he do that?
Because it's not something just for the day.
No, he said something specifically that the Alter Rebbe used to drink this cup, and he said it 2 days later. Twice. He ate the matzah like this.
Because it's not just Nogay to Pesach, it's something that's Nogay continuously throughout the year. So you're supposed to remember afterwards that you got that to be able to apply it.
So why not the day off?
So what's your answer?
Thank you. The answer is that's usual that you gave.
What?
That's usually you threw in the towel. That's a big one. Okay, so that's the real chesed shebegvura. The answer is that the Rebbe didn't want us to get caught up. Oh, I missed it. I went to the kever and I didn't feel anything. Like we get caught up in that. Now you're telling me, like I was looking for exactly this type of thing at Pesach Pass. Now you're telling me B'diktas Chametz. Don't get caught up in that. You're aware of it. Boom, it's good. You're mindful. Like ein mukdam ucher b'Torah. He didn't want us to put it.
Oh, that's being caught up in, but you still can. Okay.
I'm talking about learn about it, but sometimes we get caught up that I didn't nail it, and I'm still. A week after Pesach, guys are like, "Oh, I'm back. I'm still getting upset. Why?" I'm like, "Okay,
right.
It's not,
It's like the Torah is not in chronological order.
Right.
It sounds like it's similar.
In Torah, right? That's what I'm saying. Yeah. All right.
Chaim.
והנה, חג הפסח נקבע בחודש האביב. Okay, listen to this. It's fascinating the way that Tzemach Tzedek writes, and he's showing us this beautiful canvas of how he paints. Well, Chag Pesach nicht mehr Chodesh Aviv, Esketzias Oirim. Chag Pesach is geworden bestimmt for the Chodesh Aviv. That's the time that we're cutting the Oirim. V'as nistavini memenu Yisbarach v'Yis'ala. Then the Yisbarach v'Yis'ala it gave us a tzivri. Lahakol lefonav baruch hu minchas ha'oimim ben ha'oirim. We should bring him a carbon from the minchas ha'oirim. V'aynu, ke the Isa Rosh Hashanah daf das zayin, Omer Rabbi Yida, Moshe Rabbi Kiva, man ma Omer Teure, Ravia Omer b'Pesach. Pesach is man tvui he, because Pesach is man tvui. That's why Omer Kodesh Baruch Hu Yavi lefane Omer b'Pesach Kadesh Tezbarach Lechem Tvi b'Shabasadas. Bring me the Omer, so your Tvi and your field should be blessed. Let's go on further. Perish. That we are mala, we're elevated the hashpa, the shefa from the malachim from the beginning of Sa'ira. Who are these malachim from the beginning of Sa'ira? Who are they feeding? Just by the way, us. We are behemoths. You want shefa? You want flow? You want this? Bring the omer. What's my omer? Mindfulness. Flipping everything. Apply some gevura. They have it, flip it on its head. Okay? It's like back to Bedikas Chometz. It wasn't said in vain. I'm taking the candle and the feather to myself. When it comes to Omer, you can't tell me my father, my mother, it's about me and myself, dude. I'm sitting with myself and I'm like, do I have restraint? Then I'm applying Gevura to get rid of that thing. There's no more excuses. In other words, there is an excuse, fine. You want to get excuses, it's fine, it's okay, it's a process. But if you're willing, you have a way out. Right now, if you're willing to let go of your victim, then you have a way out right now in the Omer. Because I don't need to deal with anybody. It's set up in a way that it's between me and myself. In other words, we already know now how this works. If I have an issue with somebody, with my spouse or my boss, whatever, I know if I shut that light off or turn that light on, I'm going to move him. Cheat. If you are angry at me, I'm saying, I'm sorry. Boom, okay. Instead of getting all caught up, if the guy takes advantage of me, like, excuse me. Or not, or just don't, there's no room for that. In your mind, you make up in your mind, I don't have to, so I'm sorry, I know I said it's between you and yourself and I'm telling you to act it out. No, I take that back. Between you and yourself, if I change my mind, no, there's no room for that anymore. It may take a minute longer. But at the end of the day, you're safer. If you're unsafe, putting your head out. Certain things that everybody has their own thing that it's the big one. Like I don't want it's too scary. By yourself, no. I'm mindful. I'm present on it, and I don't need to expose myself. And now the Omer helps us because we're bribing the behemoth. We're bringing the Omer. He's like, okay, be mindful. Pay attention to me for 49 days. Pay attention for 49 days. And we'll reveal it. And now you're going to see why I said don't get caught up in it, because there's probably a few people that would think I wasn't mindful every night. I missed the boat. That's what I meant. Don't get caught up in it. That too is an omer. That too is like, okay, I'm getting rid of myself of the guilt. That's why I said it. But Peres, she'une malam hashpa'as hamalachim, shmei b'chinas ha'oire. We're malad the chef on malachim to b'chinas ha'oire. Anash ha'kohen b'chinas chesed maktira. The kohen which is b'chinas chesed maktira. The way it works is like this. It's just going to be labels, but let's just put it in. We have avas oilam, avarabah, yira tata, yira elah, kohen ish elyon. Okay. Quickly, it's avas oilam is. I love this glass. I love it. Avarabah is, I'm starting to realize that it's not just a glass. This is fascinating. There's a glass here, and I'm able to pick it up, and and everybody has glasses. This is very interesting. So from that, I'm going into Yira Tata. I'm like, okay, there's something that's going on that I don't know. All right, and then comes Yirei Law, that I'm realizing there's a more powerful thing for me, and then it's Kohen Ish Elyon. All right, so the Kohen is a Kohen Ish Elyon. He's able to go up to that place. Okay, beginnes chesed. Okay, Sharkoin beginnes chesed. Maktira al gaba mezweer van achlelos beish shalamala. It's nichel in the eish shalamala. Over here was just a play out, but it was happening on every level. And he's going to explain to you how it works. Right? It's not just that it works on every level. He's going to tell you how it works. Through this Allah, there is a shefa to the malachim. Everybody to the measurement that they can handle. This is Sa'ir Hashem. From there, it's going to come down a shefa lamata beruchnis. Benafshes abahamis shel Yisrael. It comes into our nefashis abahamis from the Am Yisrael. Begam begashmis and also in gashmis. Your shefa. V'zeh sot kadesh to disbarach lechem fully. To be blessed to lechem. Ibira ini. Hine metzinish. Hamalach nikra b'shem Hashem. Yeah. Need a little red over there. Get the. Ibir in hin metzina shamalach nikr b'shaim Hashem. Amalach is wird geriefen b'shaim Hashem. K'mashkosi b'hager. V'tikr shaim Hashem adover alea. She called shaim Hashem that was talking to her. V'chein yochel amalach lemer al atzmoi. Kilu hu ois adover b'koichoi. K'moshin is ba Hashem shoiv osho aleichem. K'mashkosi b'shem shoiv osho aleichem. K'machtir keren to the hin nesasi panecha v'hatam. Why can the malach do such a thing? K'malach uloshin shliach. Malach is a shliach. Lafishem shlicha shefa. The word malach means shliach. Remember, everything is led. It's real time. Malach shliach, boom, has that power because when Eibishter says these words, it manifests into actuality. Lafishem shlicha shefa. Lafishem shlicha shefa. They are the messengers of shefa. Shal yodam oyin sav baruch mashpia. Through them. The Eren Sabrach and Mashpia Harasi La Elements B'chol Asher Behem Lachiosim Al Derech Mashal HaShliach Shoanen Medaber Shum Dover Medatei Ki Masha Hushim Shehisam B'fiv V'nimtzes Shura Kli Lo Elechas HaShef Avegatei Men HaMashpia El HaMekabel V'lechem Men Mesyor Men Mashlich HaMelech Av Pish Yopochas Men HaMal HaMatzat Atzim Men Emes Dover HaMelech If G'das HaShesam B'fiv. Alright, so the same way the Shliach, the messenger of the king, is way more scary than the king himself. The king I can be mashachnei. The messenger is going to execute. He has a message. So the malach is the same way. It becomes one with the message. This is where it's coming from. B'kol zeh, hu lefish ha-malachim hem b'chinas bittul mitzad l'kilui elikusei. The malachim are in the beginning of bittul, from the isgalus of elikus, ha-machaya osem, ha-alma disgali. Just like we said before. Why are they in the beginning of bittul? Every time that there is an awakening, let's just say, so to speak, it's not possible. But what keeps them in perfect line? Because there's a perfect flow of them and his galus elikus. They see something higher than them. Right? There's no chance to pick your head up. We have bechira. We can do that because it's alam. It's helam. Therefore, I think that I am in control. I think that I'm the thing, and I get to stick my head out. And with his chesed and rachman, because he set up this program, it's not chopping it off. The other guys. The guy. So why? Because they're always aware of that. They're always aware of the higher consciousness. V'nimtzah. Shekashamalach oimer hinan esasi, haina she'oira sham shebtoichu hu madaber. When the malach says hinan esasi, boom. Ikmo sheyesh malachim shluchim milamal lohoil chashaf lamata, kach yesh malachim shemakav lo esman v'yisalos d'lasata shel Yisrael mavim moesim l'fnei Hashem. Okay, the same way there's the malachim that bring shefa from up and down, so too there's malachim that bring hashpah to us, and the source asata from us. As I'm doing something, okay, mavim moesim l'fnei Hashem. All right, this is how this works. I do something, the minute I do it, every thought I have, everything I speak, everything I do, there is malachim created. When I do this chesed, the minute I do that chesed, it goes into level, boom. Shefa comes down. Level. Sometimes there's ikuvim in the way. What does an ikuv mean? There needs more oil. Somewhere I'm restricted, so that chesed will run on that side. Instead of like, I wanted this thing to happen right now, I'm davening, please send me. Why is it taking so long? Why isn't it instant? Because there's a lot of schmearing I have to do. I have to do a lot of bribing on the way up because I'm verhankerd. I'm stuck somewhere. I made a commitment. I didn't do it. My word, my dvar Hashem, my dvar Havaya wasn't, like I anchored myself. This is real. Boom. I sent it flying over there and I'm anchored over there and I'm not paying attention. Right? So, tshuva is machshavata mitzav v'maisa. All you gotta do is become aware and it's over. It's not something that I'm sitting here and asay tov is machshavata mitzav v'maisa. The minute I have a thought, like I explained on the parachute, you have 613 strings and different types of strings, different types of parachutes, smaller and more special forces and more elite. When I cut it, the minute I think of something positive, it's reconnected. Then I can juice it up, I can act on it. But it's good, don't dwell on it. Reb Nachman tells us this, the Rebbe tells us this. You won't hear in the whole Teres Chabad. Like I said, I think the Alt Rebbe said Kaf HaKelo one time in Tanya, and the Rebbe went on and on to explain what it meant. Not what you think. Right? I never saw it, but I was told by my mashpeh at the time. Fine. So, in other words, you won't see it here. You won't see it here. Right? Okay. Why? Because we don't. Fine. I don't know how I got into that. I have no clue. Okay. It's not possible for us to communicate with the higher kind. What's bridging the gap from physical to non-physical? What's bridging the gap? The Rebbe is waking us up to how powerful we are, how delicate we are. Right? Malachim, what's a malach? You tell somebody a good word, you were just a malach. Even more powerful because we're Nevi'im, we're more than malachim. But these are just messengers. I'm having a good machshava toiv. If I did a good deed today, I have a machshava toiv, that's a dvar Havaya in my head. That's not something floating in my brain. My brain is very delicate because I can process with this brain what nobody else can process. No other nation in no other creation can process what we can process with the brain. We have contact, the highest, we have the red phone, the highest connection, straight to the brain, TRLO, the highest level of all we have connection to. When I say Baruch Ato Hashem, I'm dealing straight with His Zach. The goal is that I'm confused. I'm thinking that He's not listening. I'm thinking I don't realize what's going on because I'm not measuring. I'm measuring like this. I'm measuring for tomorrow, yesterday, my retirement and all that. That's how I measure. But once I remove that measuring and I open my mind to how I'm supposed to measure, I know when I say Baruch Ato Hashem, I'm standing in front of my Creator saying, blessed are you, and Refeinu, and Baruch Eleinu. Yeah, but I can't see, because that's not how you look at it. That's not how you look at it. We have Avid, we have Yira, we have processors, we have Machshava. The only thing, I said this Friday, the only thing that's stopping us from being one with oneness is because if I tell you that you're one with God, you're one with God, it's like, me? What are you talking about? I have A, B, C, and D of issues. What are you talking about? Why are we saying this? We think we're being humble, but the Alter Rebbe is telling us, don't have false aniv. It's not you, Chaz v'sholom, everybody. Don't have, because we're still not one. We're far removed. But this is where we need to go. This is where we need to go. Don't have no false anivas. Haknish and kapana. If you understand that you're cheli lekayim imam mamish, and we are dvar Havaya, and I am all these things, and I'm putting on film every day, that's it. I'm not playing around with that. That's what the Rebbe said. Yes, jump on it. The only thing that's holding me because I think that I'm a somebody. I have A, B, C, D to work out before I can connect to oneness. Because I have an ego that's holding me back. My own yesh is telling me that I'm bigger than I have expectations. So that's number one. That's number one. Oneness is right here. The second thing is that I'm thinking that once I'm one, if I have such a high connection, why can't I just manifest a cow on the table? That's again false. Why? Because in our minds, we think that Creator is supposed to be able to create things. Well, we are doing that. He did that, and we are doing that. He's creating. Okay? But really, it's betachas hapshitas. He's so pure and so kaddish, that we can't reach that level. Why are they telling us we can't reach it? Because he wants you to expire your brain to a place that you can't reach, and then you'll find it. Right? Where it was. Fine. It's good. Heine mishim she'ef shel kol v'dibra gas v'shalom la'as l'mal l'skalbim kore. Kim al desh is dakert tchila de malachim. Kmo she'ef shel leis the slapshas al nefesh beguf. Kim al de memutzen. The heine al de hadam shwa nefesh v'gam adam atzmo v'gashmo ele be'idem aruchni. In the idle veins sh'adam mala al de chamimes atzmo. The al de is a mis'achlim koiches is pashas al nefesh. In other words, within us, we also have levels, all right? I have levels. I have my blood, and the blood has vape. That vape that goes into my brain, and that feeds me, right? It's all starting to become more ruchnias. What happened to my thoughts? Why when we're sitting here is the place getting hot? What's happening? Because you're using your brain. It's steaming. It's coming out. We're real. We're not just chaymer. We're real people. Like we're chelig alakai. We're not chaymer. We're not bullets and bullets. We're not tables. But the Omer is waking us up to that. I'm going to try one more time quietly to go back to the point I wanted to make. I went with it all the way, but one last point wasn't completed.
I think you were, what is the gap between us and...
No. What was the gap between us?
That's when...
No, just give me one more. What is the gap between us
The
and
only
the
reason why we think we're not the creator.
Okay, so the second thing was, the only thing I think I'm not a creator is because I think I need to be able to create. Oh, but he's betachas abshittas. Thank you. Yeah, it's an important point. He's betachas abshittas. That means that he's simple. He just is.
So you don't need cows on the table to prove him?
No, we've done cows on the tables. We're building wealth. What do you think you're doing over there? You're building closets. That's a cow on the table. The farmer puts cows on the table. What's more godly than that? We're doing physical. But now he wants you to see betachas abshittas. I don't need to be anything. I just am. Just I don't need anything. That's where we're heading. We're not there. We're heading there. That's where we're. That's the destination. Now, once again, the reason we're saying it is, it's the same concept as. There are some pushback, like Mashiach is not here, right? I'm getting. There's rocks coming here, whatever. They can go fly, but it's irrelevant. Fine, it's not here. You're right. People are still going through their process. It's not here. But at least the balls are going to come flying the first time fast. We're going to be ready for it. Whenever that COVID comes hitting, whichever size it wants to come in, you're not going to be quivering. If you're going to be like, okay, this is not fear to be feared of. This is okay. This is like there's tremendous oil coming. How do I do this? Not by having fear. Now you're aware of it. You watch it. It catches you. You have your head is out. You're ready. It catches you. That's why we're doing this. Let's agree, it's not here. Nothing happened. First of all, the Rebbe is telling us it's here. It's happening. The Rebbe said, if I had 10 chaver that are ready to jump into this, we're making this happen. I'm sorry, we didn't start with Kof Chas Nissen. Kof Chas Nissen is when the Rebbe came and said, I did everything. Ich habe getan alles, was ich kann. Jetzt tut, was you can. That's it. He's like, it's over. I've done everything I can. It was a complete shake-up in Lubavitch. Guys were freaking out. They did not know. Here they are. It was a complete. People did not know. Imagine you're in the presence of this type of Torah, and the person that's delivering it is the machine that's feeding it. Yeah, take all the politics away from it, all the garbage, right? Once you understand what Mashiach is, it's not a stira. If you talk the Torah, it's the Ruach Hashem Mashiach. The Mashiach, we are all waking up, right? It's not, once you understand, of course it will be one, it has to be. Fine, but nobody knew what to expect. He said, it's over. He's like, I've done everything I can. And he was crying. He's like, I asked for 10 people. that are willing to accept. What does that look like?
What?
10 people that are ready to take on themselves that Mashiach is here. They're ready to act on it. If I have 10 people, we're sealing the deal.
How do we act on it?
Yeah.
Okay. They didn't get it.
Let's do this. No,
We're ready. We're ready.
We have 9.
No,
Wasn't
you're not ready. You're not ready. I'll tell you why. I'm going to say yes. I'm going to say where it's at. There is kida, there's kriya, and there's ishtachva. Okay? Kida, I'm already kneeling down, then it's ishtachva. Fish at the day of the line. Kida is, yeah, there's a God, of course. But whatever, I gotta go to work. Yes, I give my meiser, tzedakah, whatever, but there's kida, there's an Eibishter. Kriya is, there's an Eibishter. He gives me my parnasa, but I still stress when I need to stress. I still need to do something. I'm still not aligned. Ishtachva is, everything is exactly the way it has to be. How? But it means that I sit back? No, I do. How do I do? It's aligned. Everything is aligned. How do I measure that? I'll give you easy ones. If I get bent out of shape, I'm not aligned. It's very easy. We don't have, guys. We are Wasserträgers. Remember, the heavy lifters, they're there already. We're Wasserträgers. We're little things. In my sandwich, in my drink, in my mindfulness. If you start understanding this and walking around that when I taste something, it's a higher thing. Very, very easy. Nothing crazy. That's it. You are in the consciousness. You're there, and then let it. As it comes, you're gonna download. You're gonna start more and more and more. The kids and the wife, bring everybody on board. Right? Nothing wild. Mashiach, nothing, no, just living from a place of peace. Rachava, real shefa. So that's what it means. I think we're still on that. Simplicity, tachas apshitis, that's ishtachva. That's kafchas nissen.
Oh, yeah.
So there weren't 10 people that are said, can you say right now, do you have the perfect balance right now to learn and to be in peace? And again, you have to really be with it, because you can't just not work. So you have to work too, because we're here to do our job. So you have to find it within your day to be in a place where I'm doing what I'm doing. There has to be incorporated time for Torah, spirituality. This is how you open this thing up. But nothing. But like I was always told, only something that I love, something that talks to me. It's not about blätter, it's not about that. Just to get into that consciousness, to start driving that, to start, olive base. Look at the olive base; they're so beautiful. Color them, right? Color the olive base. Just look at them. Be mindful. We don't need. We're the foundation here, right? We're foundation. We're gonna hold. So look at the olive base. How beautiful it is. Pesach, a mindfulness on Pesach. This is where it's at. Slow down. Oh, don't bend me out of shape. Out of shape is choshech. That choshech will bring more. I don't want to repeat it again. So I think we got this. The tachas apshittis. So really, it's an ishtachva. This is where we need to be. Complete surrender. My divorce, my this, nothing can tick me off. And when it does, okay, we're not, again, appreciate that too. Don't get bent out of shape about it. There's gevuras here. I got it. Deep breath. We have enough tools. You have enough tricks. You know what to do. Check in. You have a support team. We're starting to call out choshech for what it is. Pull the blanket down and just start. All I want is just living. I want to live in peace. Is it possible? Don't put the blinders in front of me, because now I see. I'm not measuring distance there. I'm measuring a whole different distance right now. I'm measuring shefa in a whole different way. I got free. Shefa is free. You can't stop my shefa. If I have to work for shefa, then I'm working for the wrong thing. How can you stop my shefa? It's a flow. How do I stop a flow? So if I'm looking for shefa for somewhere that it's hard, then I'm looking for the wrong shefa. I don't know what shefa is. This costs you anything? It's for free, and it's the most. So how do I do this there? Fine, over there too. Now we have to bring it into Asiya. We have to bring it into Asiya. My day should be in a flow. It's a job, it's a mission, but easy. It's easy. No, not 6 months. Right away, easy. This is stressing me out. I'm not. Okay, am I being lazy? Check in. Let it check in. Okay, I have this and this. Am I being lazy for saying no? Okay, we check it. It may take a minute to process it because it's a very deep question. It's a very tactless question that only you can answer yourself. Am I fooling myself? But rightfully so. It's hard when you're new. How do I start with this? How do I do this? What's me? What's it? So the first thing is like, you know what it is. We're all responsible. Everybody here gets up every morning. They have responsibilities, and you stand up to your responsibilities. And if this thing is stressing me out, it must be that it's stressing me out. And this is not ben adam lechaveri, where it's like maybe it's my issue, his issue. Over there we can get confused. Maybe I'm being arrogant. Maybe he's being selfish. This is about Omer. This is personally stressing me out. This is too much for me. This is not giving me a good. Check yourself and feel it and see it. All right. You may ask.
So wasn't there 10 people with this understanding back then?
Clearly not.
It's
Clearly
been
not.
It's been 30 years and there's still not 10 people.
But there is no Michal.
Yeah, so then why isn't...
We're working on it.
You mean because it is happening.
It is happening. And you know what? There are groups. There are people. They're going at it.
No, it is. It's
They're going at it.
It's a different time.
They're going at it.
Wasn't
Listen.
there Hasidim back then?
Hold on a second. Listen, Sheffield.
That they got this part?
No, they didn't. This is not easy.
I mean, they got it straight from his
Yeah,
mouth. Like,
that's
why-
why-
why would
It
they-
took-
How such a Rehoboth Hasidim? I mean,
Moshe Rabbeinu was what we couldn't get it right when Moshe Rabbeinu was there.
I don't think you realize the Rebbe was sitting there saying, okay, people, now, we want Mashiach now. Like, even to get people to want Mashiach, it wasn't even like...
Oh, it's a-
But
one second.
there was so many Hasidim, and
Hold
they
on a
had
second.
like
First of all, you have to understand something.
powerhouse.
Listen to me. Listen. Okay, well, I don't want. It's a broad topic. I want to just.
broad topic.
Yeah, I also want to go quick to the point, and then we'll move on. Tachlis. We went through this process. We were at Moshe Rabbeinu. We had so many different things that we kept hiccuping on. We couldn't get it right. This is not a game where I'm like, it's me against him. We were really struggling. We didn't get it. We were slaves 49 days earlier. Slaves meaning like all I thought about is my fish and my avatiach. That's it. That was my whole agenda. Okay? And my bricks. Mitamal, I'm talking about madregas and we couldn't figure it out. You guys were little pitsy babies. And we destroyed the Beis HaMikdash. We couldn't help ourselves. Kicking the milk right in front of our feet. Right? We couldn't. Couldn't figure it out. But we tried. But we can flip it. We had to go there to get this. Anyways, not there. We had to get this sense of humor to get Mashiach to. Like, even this, like, really? Even that, this is the ikvus of Mashiach. We're dealing with the last ben. Okay? The Latzunim, the Matzim and the Chimra, how do you bring Mashiach there? That's going to be the challenge. Okay? So, fortunately, here was also the challenge. You're dealing with Russia. These guys were hardcore Mesiras Nefesh. Like, there was two things going on at the same time. The Holocaust, where they took them like sheep. Hashem Yinkum Damim. And then you have these Russians that marched like soldiers into the gulags. Tortured. So you have two mentalities. One guy is too broken to get it. The other guy is too tough to understand it. How do I understand Racham? What? What do you talk? KGB, Mesiras Nefesh. All he wants is Peruski. It's like he's gonna give me a chance. I'll do 1 billion films. I'll build and I'll do mikvahs, but he can't figure out how to. And the Rebbe is like in his face, like hello, and he's like what? Miftzoim again. He's like, you know what? Do a gazillion miftzoim, so much chasadim, that eventually you're gonna chap it. So now 30 years later, gazillion miftzoim. That they're like, okay, now he's all like, he goes to Rosh Hashanah, and he walks from town to town, and he blows the shofar, and he shechts his own cow, and the kids have no bare foot, and everybody's walking, and and all that, and he has to teach them, and he has to learn himself, half a Shulchan Aruch, right? The guys come with questions, yes, no, whatever, they're trained for it, but finally now, we have an opportunity, like, okay, tell me, well, what's going on? Nothing, it's right there. You've done your job now, just step into it. So nobody can figure it out. Nobody's able. What does that mean? Ishtahva means that even if I'm ready to give up
I have a son like this on Shluchas. I mean, I know exactly what he's talking about.
Baruch Hashem. Even if I'm ready to give up, I'm about to buy a house. I'm not. I'm saying, Amen. It's Israel. I'm about to build. I'm a contractor. Okay, so I'm building a house. The next door neighbor sees that I'm building, and of course he needs something here. Doesn't want money because it's pasnish. What else can I do? I'll torture you. Why not? Okay, let me torture you. Happens to be the goyim. It takes them a little longer to pick up on that because they do want the money. So it's a longer process. But so fine. So he tortures you. Why? Why does he torture me? Because there's a schalkes. Schalkes means that at the end of the day, even if I'm just a nice guy, and I'm like, I just want to build my house. But he can't, either he doesn't trust because he was hurt, so he can't trust that somebody just wants to build a house. He wants to hurt me. I don't know, he's going to look inside. He's going to see who, what am I looking at? Okay, he's going to see. Or, he can't tolerate that I attack him. He does understand that I just want to build a house. But it's too kind to him. He can't tolerate that type of kindness, so therefore he rejects us and he has to resist it. And it's like, no, you can't build here and I'll take it and tie it and right? So when we're going to be able to have 10 people that are able to tolerate that type of behavior, we're there. And I must say, because it's a good thing, I want to anchor it. I'm doing a job here, okay? Yidden, the next door neighbor, Yidden. But they're not really. The tea is right there, Michal. Yeah, help yourself. Thank you. There's honey over there too in the cabinet. No. Honey's first. Do the tea bag. Okay. Honey's right here. First the pantry, Michal.
Oh, in here.
Yes, top.
Thank you.
Left side.
Thank you.
Or the big one. You should be right in front of your nose.
I'll find it.
It's one shelf up, I think. Anyways, and I'll go up on top. Maybe it's on top. When I'm going to be able to tolerate that.
So you're talking about two Eden?
So two Eden, as I worked out a license with them. There were only reasons they didn't want to give it to me to let me do it originally is because another Yidul built next door and just achnisotam tov. So they didn't want to hear about it. There's like, I want to have thing. Fine. Once COVID came, we stopped, and 6 months later I reached out to her. She's like, I don't feel it's right for me to take money from you. Because everything is slow. It's like, don't worry about it. And whenever I need something, you'll take care of it. So they had a broken window last week. I fixed it. Whatever. But this is what we're talking about. This is a person without any OCs, no blockages, no blinders, complete open. It's like, this man is trying to make a living here. There was COVID. Common sense says, my tenants are not paying me, that this guy is sitting here struggling. I can handle that type of compassion. I can deal with that type of love. You don't have to do anything. I don't want your money. And it's a nice, whatever, it's monthly. I don't want to say the numbers, whatever, but this is where we need to go. This is when we're at Keser. This is when we're at the consciousness that we need to be, that the Rebbe is saying, I need 10 chaver like this. 10 chaver. Now remember, you try to act this way in Welt, you will be swallowed up alive. I'm gonna tell you that. It takes a man like me to survive that. Okay? Mm-hmm. And they will swallow you. They will eat you. You know why? I used to judge them. They just don't know any better. He has no clue.
This doesn't help.
Kleine pitzele babylach. They have no clue. So what are we going to do with them? We're going to wake him up. We're going to start telling him how stupid he is. Or we're going to start telling him how kind he is. So instead of using this and so on, we're going to use it and unwrapping it. But this is what we're talking about, Chav Ches Nissen, to not to be afraid. That's Ishtachva. That's Ishtachva. Now, we're not on tzaddik level here that we're going to sit at home and the Eibshter is going to send us the money. We have to go out there. But in the level of Ishtachva, I'm painting, love, I'm doing, yes, this. If you take me out of my thing, this is not good for me. I can sound as corny and as out there as I have to. Like, you're stressing me out. Azov, Azovati. Slowly, but fast. All we need is 10. And we're going to start creating little pockets of 10 that live in this mindset. So then next time you want to build a house, you're not going to imagine if I want to build next to you right now. You, anybody here? Can I put up a thing?
You're my guest.
Can I put up a thing here? Sure. Why not? You may go, now, what happens is you go to shul, what are you talking about? I got to aankicken, ze gaan maar metzeren, met chutsen, met this, met bentoires, met... What are you, then also, 25 geloven clear. What's Mashiach geworden? This is not, but if you have 10 chaver that are halten cup, because over there's no uniquest chetzonim. When you're at that level of consciousness, you can't tap into my brain. Because I'm clear where it's at. Shkoich. I got you. Yes, go ahead and do it. My upstairs neighbor, it's not a big deal to me because it's nothing to me. My upstairs neighbor wants to expand his bathroom. He comes to me like, this is under your it's in your walk-in closet. I'm like, of course. He's like, nothing. I'm like, what am I? You're my neighbor. What are you talking about? Guy, maybe you want to do it, so no, do it. Go ahead, just tell me before. You're not allowed to. What's even the questions? His mounts, his downs, what are we talking about over here? A guy wants to expand more to Chava, so he can bless you every time he sees you, so I can bless him back and expand too. Instead, I'm getting stuck in my gevuras, in my se'orim. I'm getting stuck in my garbage. No, yes, and every job the same garbage. Rebbeinu Shalom, what's wrong with you? Anyway, so, well, yes, I think we did good. Right? Okay, fine. I'm getting worked up from another quiz. It's like I can't believe it. I mean, I could believe it. What am I pretending? I can believe it. Of course, I can believe it. We're in the business. We know.
We're all there. So this was missing. So this is the ingredient that was missing back then.
Yeah, in a different way. In a different way. They were very strong with serious nefesh. They didn't know how to relax. Can you bring me the wine opener, Ella? Thank you so much. The wine opener. Which one do you have? Yeah, perfect. That's the one. The cheapest wine openers are the best one. They get the job done. 1, 2, 3. Yeah. We couldn't find 10 people. It's a very strong balance, and we're gonna get there. All right, right there. We're good, yeah. Everybody in the rusher? No. Nobody's scared of the dark.
After that, all that stuff you said, how could anybody be in a rush?
You said that. I just wanted to see if something.
You were testing us.
Exactly.
My blood rushing is nothing rushing.
I actually wanted you guys to become aware that you have nothing to, you have nowhere to go. You're good. This is already Nachshon ben Menadav. And this is what Nachshon ben Menadav did, guys. Nachshon ben Menadav, we're told the story of the Wasser came in biz the nose. When the Wasser comes only to the nose, the sea doesn't split yet. The Yam spalzach is when the Wasser came biz the nose. Because we all had the water to the nose and nothing split for us. The splitting of the sea comes when you have to get completely in the water. That's when the sea split. And people told Nachshon, you're crazy. Meshuga. Matal se, and he went all in. And we're talking about a guy like Nachshon ben Menadav that walked in. It wasn't just walking. It was the worlds were moving. He was a prince. He was a prince. He was married to Aaron HaKohen's sister. He was Gezha. He was a power. He was Shevet Yehudi. He was the prince of Shevet Yehuda. When he walked into the water, I'm telling you, they were walking. All right. And he's like, I'm giving up everything because I'm all one with you. And he went into the point where he split, the sea was split. And this is what we're talking about, Ishtachvon.
It's a beach one.
This is Ishtachvon. I have no worries. Eibishter has my hands. None of my stress has gotten me anywhere anyways. Everything has worked out anyways, no matter where it was coming from. Everything is good. There's no stress. And the stress is here only to show me how good it is. It's a job, it's a mission, that too. And slowly we'll wake up to a world of that we're there. The Rebbe said we're going to just find ourselves there. I can see how it is, because if we have 100 people at a time that are letting you build the house next door without saying anything, and then that creates, and they go to business and they create another 1,000 people, you're meeting people that are just on the same level. Good morning. Why can I answer you good morning? Because I'm not stressed. I'm not rushing anywhere. I don't have to worry because the guy on top of me doesn't need X, Y, and Z, so he has to rob everybody. So everybody's running. Mitamal, we're flipping it. This is how you get there. This is how you flip over a Welt with Hasidus. 10 people. The Rebbe said only 10. Imagine if we have. Waardeer Mesachim Koches is Pashas and Nefesh kein Aderech Moslam Shachas Achayes Me'insof Bo'insof Baruch Hu V'gam Agmon Rab Oman V'gam Adam Atzmai Hu Gashmi Ele Be'idem Baruchni. It's in the delicate Idem Shadam Mala De Chamimus Atzmai. The blood goes up because it heats up. Waardeer Mesachim Koches is Pashas and Nefesh. I'm going to work on that a little better, on the Chamimus and how it's Misachet. I went for a minute and I... What?
She just called me. 1 second.
How this works, I think it's important. I think it's important to talk, to explain it. But in other words, as my blood heats up, when it heats up, it starts vaping. It's like a tortoise. So as I'm eating something and having good thought, it becomes more edel, and then the malachim take it up. That's the reich nechayach. Right? So this is how it works. And through that, there's misachah, the kochas, and the spashtas hanefesh. Kena derech moshlam, shochas, achayis, monisah baruch, ba'elomis. V'chen Allah, oisis, v'dibir, shalom, nivir, ba'elin, so baruch. When I speak, it's the same way. Just the way when I eat, it gets finer and finer and finer until it goes up the chamimas. My words are even are the same way, and even more so. I'm talking it, and then the hevel goes up, and this is what we said over here on the first page, that through the hevel adibir nasa oir makuf. So if I talk positivity, if I talk positive, I'm creating a makuf of a good seviva around my head. But if I'm talking not, then So the point is that understand the power of you are in charge of your own self, your own seviva. Begin Allah is the dibber shaniba bain sabar khu al de shluchum hem amlachum bein dvar bifnei atzmoi ki im begin is bittel er shem shebetoychem v'zeh shkasa v'malach sheva shel ratzalem al begin sam shochas chayes me'er sab baruch shim shach az boy v'zeh gam in okay. So the malach said shev asher for Sarah. In other words, what he was talking about, he was dvaravai. It was dvaravai coming down. He said, shev asher next year this time you you'll have a child. What was he saying? What's going to come back? This oil is going to be an unchoizer. It's going to come back again. Okay? In other words, he nailed a point, and now he hit once next year this time, and then
saying it.
By saying it, he nailed it, dvaravai, because remember, when he says something, it happens. Nailed it, and then the next year, the oil already knew where to come. It landed exactly where the letter was planted. Right? If I say, can you please put the wine bottle over here? And I leave. I already planted it. The wine bottle will be over here. Right? Imagine, same thing over there. Okay? Not imagine, the same thing we have. We should understand our power. And be mindful of it, because if you use it wisely, when you're going to say somebody to pull the bottle right over there, they will. But if I just have a seviva that I just say things, put it there, kishin tochas. I had to throw it in. It's a Lubavitcher thing. It's not a Lubavitcher for bring one other. No. Kishin tochas is elite. You'll hear in places I'm like blown away. I'm like, okay. Hashem tochem. Was eshkos amal shev ashes. Rotzalem al beginnen sam shachas achayis am oirin sal baruch hu. Shinim shech azboy. וזה גם כן אין ארי דאוכל קרבונן שוימל שליח לקבל הזמן של קרבן דרך מושל המלוכים המקבל מסתפילה שהם מוקם קרבונן. It's the same way that as we do the carbon on the mizbeach, the line, the fire that it used to come down and burn up the carbon. What was that? That was just levels and levels and levels of oil that came manifested into there was such a manifestation into the face of a lion, and it took it back up. So too, we have with our tefillas right now. When I'm davening, I have the same process, the same system works when I daven. Ach Moshe Weisz shliach. I didn't look up the pasuk, but I know what he said. But after Kisisa, where he said, "I'm not going with no malachim. I don't have you. I'm not going anywhere." Why? Because he knew very well that we are not, we're little kids, and we're going to mess up. And if we're going to have a shliach, he's going to execute. And he's like, "No, I'm not taking any chances. Not on my watch." Okay, while I'm here, I want you because I know already I know the statistics over here. Okay. So here the Migdash Shlomo. In the Beis Hamikdash, the second by Shlomo Melech, there was already the Arya. But before that, there was fire. Yeah. Shoyer b'migzah shleim. L'chein la'asad lavish ha'mashiach yiyeh gavoy me Moshe. Mashiach hat sein aggressive for Moshe. Yima lasa at she'ari kaboiker yochel teven. The lion is going to eat teven, stroy, just like the bucker. Why? Well, he was hashliach lekabel minchas oimer des oiram. In Jean the shliach to bekabel minchas oimer des oiram. Mishaka banis kimi yehana b'stapit man teven shehup solis has oiram. Mishaka eis hu machalam. Fishakol hashpaz yima oiram is as beyose. All the hashpaz that then everything is going to be more shefa. But teven del asad lavik is oiram the achshav. Was oiram yenachlam b'Yisrael atzma. La asad lavik soon to come. Sa'odim, Teven is going to become like Sa'odim. Sa'odim is going to become part of us. Sa'odim is going to become like a completely elevated type of thing in concept, which means like this: my behemoth is considered Sa'odim. My desires and my wants and my needs is my Sa'odim. It's my behemoth needs. Once Mashiach comes, it's going to be elevated to a place where it's going to be part of my avodas Hashem. It's not going to be any more a distraction to me because I'm going to look different, I'm going to see different, I'm going to measure different, but there's going to be a revelation of the oil. This is what we're doing right now. We're giving a tikkun to the Sodom. Now also keep in mind that the reason the lion has to can't eat meat now, and over there then only eats buster, and then it's going to eat heaven, again because there's this chalkas. There's restriction. So if there's restriction, he needs a mamutza in order to get him to the higher source. He's still not refined enough. So he's able to eat stroya. When you're in a very, I'm going to explain it. When you're in a very delicate state of mind, you can't eat meat. When you feel good, you eat meat. You want to be light, right? Because there's no escalcus. When I'm after a heavy day, give me a steak, medium rare. Okay, so that's because there's this chalkis. But once I'm more edel, I don't need no meat. I want to be relaxed with it. The line is just a reflection. Everything is a reflection. We're in the center of this whole thing. Rashis Yisrael. We're in the center pillar of everything. Everything was created around us to hold space for me. As long as I'm still not letting the guy build next to me, the lion still needs to eat meat. He has the lion, and there's Gevurus, and there's Behemoth, because remember, he's on the Kisah Kavod. He sends, there's Ashpah coming from there. And we have the lion, and right now we're still not using the lion in the right way. I'm still using it to chop and to grab. As I'm getting more refined, I'm letting the guy get away with it. Go, and sure, no problem, my pleasure. Why not? Then the lion is also, the lion is mitamolgan also. You're going to know the lion is Esh and Shtroyat. Because why not? There is enough Gevuris involved.
He's presenting the fire on the Mizbeach.
The what?
The fire on the Mizbeach.
Yeah.
Oh, just... So, in the Mishkan, it was a straight fire, not the Ari?
Yeah, not the Arya.
The Ari.
Yeah, and over here...
So it will be in the Los of the Way.
Los Love will be even higher than that. It's a more delicate fire. But we're talking over here about what comes down, Panei Shor, my small, Machmechol, Gabriel, thank you, yeah, Shar Shela, Gabriel. Gabriel is the Arya. He comes down and he eats the Kabbanis. He takes the Kabbanis to up there. All right, let's continue because I want to finish the piece. I want to wrap it up, this piece. I mean, we're not going to finish the mimer today, but I want to finish make sure that I covered all the points. The same way the Kohen is given a shliach to be makar da'omer, and the Kohen is the shliach of the Rachmana. Look, pay attention to the words that the Rebbe is using here. Shliach of the Rachmana, which is Rachmanis, which is Yid Gimel Midas HaRachamim. We're going to see the connection. Kedisa v'kedushim. K'moiz k'sas avaran adoram lamad hei, beis lamad vav, aleph harambam perig vav, me'hilchas nadoram halacha hei. V'nimtza. K'shehikir v'asmichas ha'oidam, harezeh b'shlichus shel makam baruch hu. V'yoda k'yoda. When he was makar the Sodom, he was a shliach from the Eibishter. V'yoda k'yoda, his hand was like that, just the way the Malach is the Devar Havai, and he's one with the Eibishter. So to the Kohen, which comes from even a higher place, he's one with him. He's doing the Omer right now. Okay? V'yoda k'yoda hu b'chines chazda idroi yimina, the Kodesh Baruch Hu sheyimina mekarevis lahalas ha'sa'odah. The right hand of Kodesh Baruch Hu is lahalas ha'sa'odah b'hagashmis shegdele ma'aretz alazor, with that all the garbage, I'm sorry. The Sa'odim, the Gashmias, which is all the garbage also. and not everything, all our everything. We're elevating everything, bringing everything up, right? The So'irim is just an act out of what's happening to us. Okay? Shegadela Marat Zay Gashma Shishar Shenimshik Mahai Gevula Shibayon Shibarat Zayon is Kim to the Hagmuras Malchus Datzilus Menimshik Lamata El Malachim Shlich Al Shefa. The Shlich Al Shefa, which is the Malachim canal, the fish and is Shenisrak for Baratz, Minasara Baram, Mashanal for the Shviris Akelim, because it got on for fault and it's Ozgemish Dera was mixed up. And the Toif Shanaf of the Shviris Akelim Mazayim Malachim Kadman, as we said before, that there was the Shiva Malachim that they were born and they died. This is in Toyu, when there was the oil, I think was the first she recovered, something like that. There was 13 layers of in the mincha. Let's go with that. Again, the shlich d'rachmana. Yid Gimel Nifa, there was 13 layers, and then Shlich d'rachmana Yid Gimel Medes Arachmim, right? We have to connect everything. It's not just like Velt, higher thing. What's receding? Yid Gimel Medes Arachmim. Malo Esilamala. Rachel, just remove the whatever's in there so it doesn't make the sound. Thank you. And you can keep the water on. Just remove the bottom part. Okay, no problem. Okay, this is how it keeps regenerating the energy. לכן בא מנפס אוימר מטרימס הלישקה שהויה לכל ישראל, sie kommen von der Pushke, but makrim mit Oimer von der Lischke, kol Israel chelik bei, das kol Israel chelik bei Lis Hashpa, zu alle de kol Israel, ki kodesh Israel Lashem reishes to v'yase. Kodesh Israel Lashem. The Heiligkeit von Israel ist zum Eibischen, reishes to v'yase, it is an erste Tzviya, where alle b'machshav of first growth.
The Yidden are reishes to v'yase.
Yes, well, that part of us, we're much in there where we're going every yom, we're going to go in different levels of where we are. Pesach we started up that we were all b'machshava, b'ni b'chori Yisrael. What's birthing after that? I can't stay in b'ni b'chori Yisrael. How is that relevant to Veld? Okay, so from that came out Reishis Teviyasa, Kodesh Yisrael, which is what? My day-to-day struggles, my day-to-day accomplishments. That's my Sa'odim, exactly. Right? So everything is connected, and I'm bringing it down to the Maisa. I'm going to do the physical. So now I'm taking this whole Pesach thing, I'm acting it out physically in my Sa'odim, and then sure, so I'm having a physical Matan Torah. Alright. Because of us, we are the anchors here. Because of that, all the malachim are in business. Keep in mind, as the Ramchal says, that after the Charbon Beis Hamikdash, there are many thousands of kittas, of yeshivas, of malachim that are out of business. Thousands of warehouses that are shut down. No karbanas, they're off. They've been off. They've been on they've been on on unemployment for 2,000 years. No jokes. It's not good because we need their power. We need proper communication. We need proper delegates to represent our cases, right? Baruch Ato Hashem, proper movement on the spot. There is a bracha. Rafa'enu Hashem, on the spot. There is a bracha, right? Right now we it's like they're sitting there. We have a few delegates, one or two that have how many channels do we have? But we need to open. We need them back, right? Because we all have the power. That's the Mashiach thing. That's what we need to. That's what we're striving for. Yeah. ולכן, בואו מנחס אוימר מטרימס הלישי לכל ישראל. וואטר? שהנפש של קיש שבסול רשש המשוך השייל, דנמשך בכינס טבי ישראל מלאל, מלאכם גם כן. הלא הסמן שלהם מסר יגשמת. הנה, עומר הזל בפסח על התבואה, שאז הוא זמן הקבוע בשנה לרשש המשוך השפע במינס מחוסיס ולחמלאכם. This is the punchline. In the Chachamim means Chachamim, smart people. They were geniuses. They were giants. They knew how to figure out. They knew exactly what was going on. And they said, okay, now is the time, from the Torah tells us, right? But they were able to channel, now is the time that there's Amshacha for this type of Ashpa and Vel. And this is what we need to do to capture it, because nobody else in Vel can capture it but us. Bin Amr Zal, Shuzman, שאלז was man akvu b'shan lereishis amshachas hashef midas malchus Yisrael malachim. V'malachim hem shlucha hashefa umelichem memashpim gam kol nefesh abahamas shebisrael shedesapach mechashoichel u'nohirem. Ki makar sharshe hu moifanim ki yidua umazoni gam kem b'sa'orim Sa'oir Hashem hanal b'henik shes bonis b'gudus Yisbarach v'malakal m'so gam l'sbol mazat l'salach m'deseir. So first of all, the same malachim are bringing shefa for us also, for our nefesh abahamas. Okay, there's the afanim, all this, the buildings, all this is afanim. That's the shemarim from the afanim. Yes. So there was this chassid that Rabbi Maria came to. I think it was him. He came to America. He wanted to go to Manhattan. So he came to Manhattan. They showed him the buildings. He said, "Dom zech git the afanim git ausgekak," because the afanim are the malachim, and from their shemarim, from when they go to the bathroom, so to speak, this is what it looks like. Huge buildings. This is what it looks like. This is the shemarim from the malachim. So if you are a big real estate developer, you deal with reg.
It's metaphor, right?
No, it's real.
That's true.
Right, they're not.
Malachim don't.
Yeah. It's probably.
This is what it looks like. It's a certain.
It's an energy.
But how does it show up? When I go to the bathroom, it's an energy. No, this is drek, right? So the malachim in there, it looks like buildings. Now, what drives that? My behemoth rabba. But now I'm being my se'orim. I'm being mavared my se'orim. I'm mavared my behemoth. So I have different ideas. So no longer are we going to be dealing with the shemarim of the afanim, but we're going to be dealing with reishis teviyasa. Right? I'm starting to build different things in my head. I'm taking off my blinders. That's number one that he said. The second thing that he said, that through that, from while I'm eating the sa'orim, I'm bringing the sa'orim as an omer, I'm flipping it over, I'm going behind. As we said, I'm not looking anymore as my problem, I'm going behind it. What's driving it? How can I have an amtakana? How can I sweeten this? What can I do to make this thing softer and better? This is how also the ground, the earth grows the same way. The same year, the year Nissan comes out. Everything is connected. As we look outside, last week the Rebbe has a sikha. You look outside, now is the time that everything starts growing, everything starts sprouting. So what does that mean to us? That our midas are also. What happens in the summer? We get thirsty and hungry. It's nice. I'm feeling vibrant. I'm open. In the negative, also in the positive. We don't look at it anymore as temptation. I'm looking at it now with the opportunities that I'm having. Everything that I plowed that I plowed in the winter. Now I'm able to see my fruits. Right? I'm opening up and I'm able to see. This is what I'm looking at. They have to get their ashpah, and this is the hegevuris which happens on Pesach. And this is the sod that our field should be blessed. The same way as we bring the Omer and we stand up, we stand down. So we're starting to wake up that we are moving things around here. And also remember, what you send in, what you put into the oven, that's what's going to be coming out baked. If I put in, I want physical and I want my materialistic or whatever it is, my worries and my stress, you're going to be taking out a cake that's nicely well done of stress and all types of stuff that doesn't help me. But if I'm baking a cake with sweetness and love and compassion, I'm going to be taking out a cake with sweetness, love, and compassion. Right? So whatever you put into the oven, that's what we're taking out. So be very careful when you choose to be miserable or you want to be happy. Think twice what the payoff is.
And then feeding it to yourself.
Exactly. Now that, and then we all have to eat it with you. This is the sod that all the foods in the psada should be blessed. The nichas kanas is when somebody thought his wife cheated on him, he brought her to the Beis Hamikdash, and they made her drink the water. The fish tzalachlis begin as a service like Buddhas. Was this bedike the eshes chayil? Ke'imnes achda b'toiv ye'ala aliyah the Eastern. כמו שנבחן האורת בסורת משגל המשפט שומע סעת ברא אורת מלך נפח לשם. Who some of the Musa, this is the death psalm, Le'esh Zenunim Shenesach the Baraka, Tev Nifrim Men Azmes. In other words, like this, as we gave her this Hey Gevuras, if she had Toiv in her, the Gevuras went away and they went up, the Chesed went up with such power, even more power than before. But if not, this ate up all the Gevuras and there was nothing left of her because all she had was Gevuras. So she died. And this gave her the bitter. Tani Peh. Kedisa Bazoy Peh is Malchus Peh, which is again the Hey Gevuras. Bazoy Sham Lahas HaMalchus Yoda B'Biyah B'Chinas Oir Hashem V'Hachas Malachim Kanal V'Dezet Yam Shochem L'Chodesh B'Shon L'Lazah above V'Dal. V'Dal is V'Dal L'Hovim. This is where you take it in, but we did this from the back with the Siyata D'Shmaya from the Rebbe's.
You said whenever we bake, this is what we get. So how do we create the recipes? It's all about thinking.
We are doing the recipes. We are fully invested in the recipe. One of the ways is, as we said before, which is the third item on the list for me being one with my Creator, which is Tachlis Apshitas, simplicity. You know the ingredients you're putting in this year versus last year. Now what's missing is to turn off my slave that I need to this, and because I'm not measuring anymore the way I used to measure. I know distance now for real, because I got a taste of a higher source. I'm not here, my higher source is not there. And let me just point it out for those who listen to the recording. My higher source is not figuring out, securing my 10, 20, 30, 40 years. That's not my higher source. Because if that's my higher authority, then this is what life looks like. Stress, pain, betrayal, disappointment, weakness, exhaustion, depression, anxiety. But when I'm starting to plug in and I know that it's in my hoiva, which means I'm looking upward, I'm in the moment, and I measure distance and time and space by my positivity, what makes me feel good. I'm mindful that I'm feeling good. I'm mindful that I'm tripping up Friday night, I get triggered. I become mindful of myself. This is how you become present. What was your question?
How you bake the cake.
How you bake the cake.
This
I got
is
it.
this is how you bake the cake. This is how you bake the cake. It's very simply complicated, but it's not. It's not, because why am I saying that? Because as I'm going to go back tomorrow, I'm going to be dealing with stress. That's like lip scraping on my brain. Not because of the table, it's just because it's a dry surface. So I will get into confusion tomorrow. That's why it's complicated. But once I start learning I get up in the morning, I'm calm, I have a minute, I know where I need to be. And slowly I'm starting to broaden that type of consciousness around me. This is who I am. And slowly you're going to start noticing that a lot of things can't come your way. They just never land. Slowly. Some of them you have to fix. You're mindful of it. But life changes. This is when you become clear with yourself in the moment. And this is the cake you put in. The cake is a check-in, it's a shear, it's being humble, drinking some wine, relaxing and demanding, whatever. This is the cake. Look, it's a beautiful thing. Like if you look at it, look at whoever started this work last year, a year ago. Look what you put into the oven last year and 2 years ago, and look what you took out of the oven. Same greg. Over and over again, nothing changed. If I got lucky with a new job, I fell into again, same planter. The same wife, the same kid, the same annoying Reuven Shield. Nothing changed. But now I'm putting in different things in the cake, and you're going to see what's going to come out. What do you think is going to come out? A beautiful cake. Lechem aponim. The chalas of the shvuz. That's what's going to come out. Because it's there. I'm just opening myself up to it. I'm opening up myself so I know how to receive it. I just need to unclock myself. I don't have to go look for it. Shefa, you don't look for it. It pours. These chayas are making me run, chase it, so I'm missing the whole point. I don't need to chase Shefa. If I run, I'm running away from the Shefa. And I'm 20, 30, 40 years ahead of my Shefa. I'm planning 20 years ahead. Are you normal? What are you talking about? Where are you living, and why are you trying to pull me into your garbage? Why are you making me miserable too? I need to work now like a dog because you have some fakakta false ideology. Not your fault. So this is what it means we're closing the gap. And we don't have to get all fancy that Mashiach is here, he's not here. Fine, he's not here. I still choose to live away from a place of freedom. I don't want to be enslaved anymore. So there's two ways here. Either I'm a multimillionaire and I'm waking up and I'm saying, I don't need, I have enough. I'm good. Or I've been hustling and working all my life and I still have the same, and I'm going to say, I don't need to anymore. I'm just going to be. Because it has to be. I have to receive what's mine. There's no other way. As long as Welt is Welt, I must receive what's mine. Because I'm just a continuation of the Shefa. So as he was expanding and he had me in mind, and I am here because of that, with that comes a package of Shefa. Why can't I find it? Because these chayas are chasing me 20 years ahead, breaking my back. So I'm not present with my Shefa. Maybe all I need to do is make closets and live on a farm and be happy. So they're hakman and kaparan that I need to have this and this and that. Leave me alone. And therefore I don't have a wife I can't see, because if I'm there and they're here, nobody's where they need to be. So either way, I am exactly where I need to be. We have this, and how are we going to do it? What do you mean, how are we going to do it? We're going to do it exactly the way we're able to make the bar mitzvah. That's how we're going to do it. What type of, that shvich is dumb. Because during COVID, we saw that. We're not talking about anymore. Like, the people made weddings in their backyards, and it was the most beautiful thing. I had tears every single one I saw. I had the best time watching it, and who didn't? It was the most beautiful thing. It was so authentic, it was real. And the father didn't go home bleeding, he was happy. Forget about that. I don't want to get cute with that. I want to get real. Forget about that. Baruch Hashem, we can do it, but...
Just pashtus.
Exactly. Being in flow, what's really important. So this is the cake. Hi. Any other questions before we shut? All right.